Nintendo Switch 2's April 2nd Nintendo Direct can't come soon enough. It's 46 days away. We've had a countdown going in our YouTube Shorts section created by a friend of the channel, Paul Gale Network. And obviously, we've been doing these daily live streams as well, which is kind of sort of also a little bit part of the Nintendo Switch 2 countdown as we're preparing for the largest, most exciting, probably the most watched Nintendo Direct of all time. So that's really exciting stuff. And we're not the only ones excited. It seems developers are excited too, because ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 was revealed, when developers get interviewed, they are always asked about the Nintendo Switch 2. And while we had some quotes yesterday, we have even more today from two entirely different developers because they are bursting at the seams. They really want to talk about this platform. They can't quite give us the details we want, but I think it's notable the companies that are talking about it because it seems like their games are a lock for Nintendo Switch 2, even though they're not officially announced yet. A lot of, hey, wait till the event in April. Hey, wait till the event in April. Sort of confirming Nintendo put an NDA in place on all of these developers that, hey, you can't talk about anything until after April 2nd or until a certain time on April 2nd, which might be after the Nintendo Direct. But speaking of that Nintendo Direct, we still have some stuff to go over with the current Direct with a minor update. And that minor update comes over from Brazil, PH Brazil, over on Family Boards. He's been the original source on there being a Direct this month. And he says, as promised, here's an update. Just talked overnight with my source, asking for reassurance, not unlike how this thread does. And they still insist some form of a Direct is happening this month. This is the same person who clued me in to the August presentation last year. But back in August, at this point, relative to when the event was supposed to take place, I'd already heard about it from somebody else, which isn't the case now. Not really going to try speculating on what this could mean, as we'll soon see, just laying it all out there. So, yeah, what he's essentially saying here is, look, when he originally reported on the August stuff, it was his same source. And then by this point in August, he had a second source reconfirming this stuff. Right now, it's just those single source confirming there's some sort of Direct presentation this month. Now, if we do have some sort of Switch 1 related Direct, my bet is next week, right? That's the only time that makes sense to me. It's the week before the Pokemon presents. So sure, we'll see what happens. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe this source just got lucky back in August. I don't know. His sources tend to be game developers, so we'll have to wait and see. That being said, if you guys are enjoying this video, I want to remind you that, hey, we're on a road to 150,000 subscribers. I would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel so you can stay as up to date on Nintendo as possible. Now, we got to get into the two different developers talking about Nintendo Switch 2. This first article comes over from IGN, and this deals with Marvel Rivals. So the Marvel Rivals developer is open to potential future releases on Nintendo Switch 2. So we're just going to get right to the quotes here. These quotes come from Marvel Rivals producer Wei Kong Wu. And this past week at the DICE Summit in Las Vegas, DICE is a very popular place for game developers to get together. And here are the quotes we're looking at. We're already in contact with Nintendo and working on some development kits. And whenever we find that we can provide great performance for our game on Switch 2, we're open to that. The reason why we didn't launch it onto the Switch, it was the first generation of that device. They cannot provide a great experience for our gameplay. So if it could achieve that goal, we're open to that. So essentially saying Marvel Rivals probably will come to Switch, assuming that it can hit the targets. Now, if you actually look at the PC side of things, Marvel Rivals runs at 60 FPS on some fairly old hardware, like hardware that predates the hardware that is supposedly in Nintendo Switch 2. So really, there shouldn't be a problem getting this game to run at 60 FPS and look pretty damn good on Switch 2. But that's obviously me projecting. I don't really know. Marvel Rivals is obviously a really popular game. And the thing about this one is there's a couple ways to take this quote. When you say we're already in contact with Nintendo and working on some development kits, this is either saying, one, we're in talks with Nintendo to get our hands on some development kits, or we're already working on development kits, like we already have them, and we're talking to Nintendo about our game and trying to get it out there. You guys could read those quotes either which direction you want. Obviously, this just comes down to interpretation because the language isn't like crystal clear here on which direction that language is leading, so that just leaves a lot open for interpretation. Obviously, at the end, so if it can achieve that goal, if we're actively developing for it, they don't really know if it's achieved that goal yet. That being said, it is pretty nice to hear about Marvel Rivals coming on over. I do think that is a big get for the system, as it is very, very popular. Kind of like having Fortnite and Apex Legends and all that on Switch is a really nice get. This would be as well, and should run fairly well. Now, this isn't the only game being talked about. I said there were multiple developers talking to Nintendo about this stuff. Who else is talking about it? Well, how about Josef Fares? You guys remember Josef Fares? The whole F the Oscars guy from the Game Awards. And It Takes Two, one of his games, actually won a GOTY award. So really becoming a big name in the industry. And honestly, it's really hard to dislike this guy. Everything he touches right now, for like the last 2 games, from A Way Out and this one, and now Split Fiction, all of them seem to be gold. Obviously, we don't know with Split Fiction yet. He really loves making these sort of co-op games. Anyways, let's just say, I think Split Fiction is coming to Switch 2, and I kind of think this is a confirmation, but let's just see his exact words, and you tell me what you think. So, Split Fiction dev knows a lot about Switch 2, but can't say anything yet. Well, first, you only know a lot if you have a dev kit, right? Anyways, let's get down into here. Hazelight Studios has released an award-winning co-op experience in It Takes Two, and the next one on the horizon is Split Fiction. At the moment, it's locked in for various platforms, but we're still waiting to find out if it'll make its way to Switch 2. Hazelight founder Josef Fares was asked about the chances of a Switch 2 release during an interview with Gamertag Radio recently. And while there's no official announcement at this stage, there could be an update in the future. We don't know yet, but hopefully in the future, we will know more. This is on it coming to Switch 2, which I find quite interesting. He suggests Nintendo fans hold out until the upcoming Switch 2 Direct, while acknowledging the secrecy behind the system, which he apparently knows a lot about. Here's a quote. I know obviously a lot about Switch 2, but there's a lot of secrecy behind everything, so I can't say anything yet. But you all will know soon. Nintendo announced that they have a thing on April, so then we're going to know more about the console. And he's basically, without saying it out loud, saying, I have a dev kit. I know a lot about the system because of that. I can't talk about our game coming to the platform yet. I can't tell you any features of the system or really even talk about this system until Nintendo's event in April. So this also gives us sort of that time frame that Nintendo obviously has an NDA or something in place with these developers where they can't talk about anything till after that April event. Kind of makes sense in the landscape of everything, where because Nintendo hasn't done a game blowout yet for it, that game blowout probably is the Direct, that they're just making everyone hold back until that point. So I know we had some quotes from Jason Schreier, who suggested that one reason to tease the Switch 2 in January would be so third parties could reveal their projects. It appears that is not the reason. I think we know that this at this point. It's almost been a month since the damn reveal, and third parties aren't revealing their games for it, even though several are kind of sort of hinting that things are coming. They can't give us any exact details on what games are coming or features or anything, because again, they're on lockdown. Nintendo's not letting them talk. So as frustrating as that is for us fans, where we could have been talking about a ton of third-party games and all the interviews and everything between now and April 2nd, we have to wait, which, it's fair. We still haven't seen a game running natively on the platform, not an off-screen, image of Mario Kart, like actually on-screen, direct feed footage. We haven't seen that yet. And so we're going to have to wait till April 2nd. It is what it is, guys. The exact news and the most exciting details about this platform are being held behind closed doors. It is what it is. But you could tell someone like Josef Fares really, really wants to talk about this and really wants to get this information out there. But, Nintendo's like, not today, buddy. So take that for what you will. Anyways, folks, I am Nathaniel Rufflejans from Nintendo Prime. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. This is an amazing video. I'm really excited for Switch 2. I hope you're excited as well. And we'll catch you in a new video tomorrow or on our live stream tonight.